Happy Thursday. We are at USC. We are at the USC stop on the Metro line. I'm going to walk back to the Metro line. I just got off. Hey, Cecilia. Happy Thursday. I almost wanted to say Friday. So we're exploring, different lines of the Metro. I usually kind of stick to the red line and then end up walking everywhere from there. Hey, Kasepi. Happy Thursday. And then end up really walking far distances from there. But I decided that I don't really have to do that. So when I get to the destination, I can actually walk a little more there. So exploring the different lines. Ahead of us is the California Science Center. I thought that was a real dog. Sorry, I'm going to turn off my logo. Going to balance out here. Looks like we're okay. Here we go, POV. All right, I had to turn that up. I've really enjoyed watching your videos from your trip to Denmark. Giuseppe, they're really great. Hey, Joe, thanks for being there. So within this little area, there's like a ton of museums. You have the African American History Museum, the California Science Center. This is Exposition Park, Rose Garden that we're gonna go see first. Thank you so much. It's not every day a topless jogging sweating man says, I like your gimbal, but I'll take it. So we took, I keep calling it the Gold Line. We took the train, we'll say it's the E line, I think, to Expo Park. I just kicked a soccer ball, which sorry. I'm just trying to kick it in there. I've never played soccer, sorry. I was trying to help. Anyway, Exposition Rose Garden. And thankfully it didn't rip out my terrible soccer leg. Welcome. Established in 1927. I feel like a lot of 20s gardens, they were really into roses. A house I grew up in had roses definitely planted in the 20s. So beautiful. Let's kind of meander through. We'll see that building. It is beautiful. It has been super cold the past couple days. And by super cold, I mean, 68, 70. But it's been really gray, as you've seen from my videos. It's been a mood. It's been really lovely, actually. Today it felt like when I was walking to the train station to come here, it really felt summery. Oh, this is a perfect day to be in the Rose Garden amongst all this merriment and fun. Why aren't these kids in school? So free roses. No, it's not the Huntington Garden. We're gonna work our way to that. Oh, this is free. I don't know if we're gonna really see the dinosaur, but I'm hoping. I want you to feel like you're in the rose bushes. A thorn. So we probably really don't need to go far from here to see all these sights. but I've got a list. Another thing is I watched a video a while ago from Brian Morton. I think he is a subscriber. I subscribed to his channel. I think he's been in the chat before. And he actually did this and went to all the places. So I kind of was excited that that was on the same stop. So that was my sort of preparations. I haven't eaten the snacks yet. We're going to eat the snacks on Tuesday. So we ate the Kit Kats, all of the Kit Kats, the strawberry chocolate cake Kit Kats. I can't wait to see Hamburg, actually. I'm wearing shorts and a t-shirt and I'm okay. Like I'm in the shade right now, but like this is the perfect weather to be walking a rose garden. I wouldn't want to be tilling it. I'm going to try not to capture anybody's magic moments. It's a very romantic spot. So welcome, welcome. Roses as far as the eye can see. I have a special rose for all of my followers. All my followers, what is this? All the members. That's crazy. Anyway, I have updated it on the train on the way here, so if I omitted any, I'm really sorry, but thanks, members. You're gonna get to watch us eat snacks next Tuesday. All those Korean snacks, $33 worth of Korean snacks. The best thing about being here actually maybe isn't just the sight of the roses, but the fragrance. They all kind of smell the same to me, though. I mean, actually, I shouldn't say that. Tea roses really have a particular smell. I wonder what these yeller ones smell like. What is your favorite color rose? I'll try to keep my eyes peeled for you streaming on Saturday, because I am not going to. Are the botanical gardens free? If they are, I will try to do them. For sure. The yellow ones have a very faint smell. I really like pink roses because them's the roses that we had growing in our backyard, so I think they're kind of nostalgic for me. Hey, Steps, thank you for the great idea. I'll definitely love to check that out. It is a really wonderful little spot. I actually forget about this being Los Angeles. Fun fact, I would have been on exactly on time or maybe like 10 minutes early, but I took the train the wrong direction. So, again, I never get off the red line, which is not called the red line anymore. So the really awesome thing is there are train folk, I guess they're the Metro helpers, and they will give you a little map, which has all of the routes. I'm kind of blown away because, again, I didn't know they changed the names of these. I really didn't understand that we had that many routes also. So there's lots of train adventures to explore. I mean, I knew there were ones, but I really didn't realize how much and how far we could get. I am going to go to Long Beach on the train. I think that's an exciting endeavor. I don't know if these are supposed to be orange. Those orange ones smell great. Actually, they do smell different. Maybe every rose smells different. I know that every rose has its thorn. Oh, okay, these are super abundant. Every one of these museums, it costs money to go into, but there's usually like a little bit of it that's a free portion. We're interested in the free portion. Let's smell these guys. Not as fragrant. These actually are more pretty than scented. I wonder how many noses have stuck themselves in the flower. Hey, Gridley. For you guys, a rose. That smells like a red, red rose. The Getty is free too. I just wonder, I worry about like walking in with a camera and what I can film. Um, I did get kicked out of a historical house. I went back and watched the footage. You can't hear the guy, but you can see him. And he's so proud to ask me to leave. It was my shame. We'll explore museums. I have a particular route that we don't have to do it. We can do whatever we want. White roses do not smell. I also love the smell of a carnation. I checked on so we also got kicked out of the cemetery one time, and I did check on their website, and you can totally film in there as long as it's not commercial filming. But I went in on a Sunday, which, against my better judgment, people were celebrating. I definitely want to do more stuff like that. Oh yes, and I can't sit on a stairway. Even though I'm old and riddled. It's not true. I'm literally going rows to rows and sniffing them, and then I'm looking for a surprise rose. This one's kind of nice. I never sit on the subway either or touch anything because I'm issues, but I did sit on the subway today because I had to update the members list. Within Los Angeles, there's all kinds of like little trolleys. There's like a West Hollywood trolley. This kind of looks like a Blair Witch kind of thing right here. Sorry. It looks like a head, a stick, a body. I'm not going to step on it or move it. I don't need that Brady Bunch tiki curse. Hey, Enzo. I always want to say, ciao, Enzo. We used to have a very Italian Enzo relative. Ooh, a butterfly or something just flew. Here we're back to these pink carnation-y looking roses. Ciao, Enzo. Oh God, we got a new pope today. His name's Robert. It's funny because I'm watching well, I say we got a new pope. The world has a new pope. It's kind of funny because I'm watching something on HBO Max, which is right up my spooky alley. And it's stupid enough that I can watch 15 minutes and not watch anymore and then pick it up a couple days later as a Robert the Doll. I thought there were multiple episodes, but so far I've only watched one. I spread it out over like 3 nights though. This isn't showing our roses in the best light. This is the dry patch. Whoa. Oh, I thought it was Robert. Pope Leo, and he's American. He's going to be the first pope in jeans. So that structure that they're building, I don't know what it's actually called. It's like Steven Spielberg's Imaginarium, or I don't know. It sounds like a really Simpsons name. But it's a Steven Spielberg museum. It's not like the E.T. museum or anything. I wonder if he's going to lean conservative or be a little more liberal like the last pope. I kind of feel like I might have a mismemory, but do they do that smoke anywhere else other than the Sistine Chapel? A Stetson with a cross. I'm sure somebody has already chat GPT'd or whatever you call that, a picture of the American Pope. Oof. I'm just glad it wasn't DT. The Lucas Museum on the west side. So there's that, but this is also, hold on, a museum. Did I just say Steven Spielberg and it's George Lucas? Oh, golly. I'm looking it up. It's actually one of the last things. The Lucas Museum of Narrative Art, under construction, 3800 Vermont Avenue. So, anyway, our first stop on this walk was the University of Southern California. I mean, the Expo Rose Garden. The University of Southern California actually is across the street. It's not exactly easy to just waltz on there or waltz in there due to protests and stuff like that, or since the protests. I don't think anything is going on right there. Yeah, I think it's that right there would be the Lucas, aka the Spielberg Center. I'm joking. This is the water fountain from Friends. I'm joking. I have, I think, 12 exclusive emojis. I need to come up with one or two more. I just changed a few out, and we're gonna sort of alter the style of them. I've been working on emojis like crazy. Not like crazy. Oh, but we should be able to, you can still see the space shuttle. Maybe it's the sort of metal building. It's on our list, and we're going to walk through it anyway. Um, so maybe not share all of my surprises with you right now. I'm just kidding. I don't know what I'm saying. All right. So we visited one whole side of the rose garden. I will not sniff all of these roses. Oh, yeah. A barking dog emoji with maybe me clutching my heart. This is the Cinco de Mayo rose garden. It would be great if it could be an animated emoji where it would be like a barking, really loud barking dog emoji, and then you saw the dog and it was a chihuahua. I don't think I can type the emojis here, but I can do hearts. And I just want to say those hearts go out to all of y'all. Thanks for watching. So we have Capitol Records building, I know that for sure. Uh, we have City Hall, a Marilyn Monroe, me going as I want to do. We have one that says Sweet, one that says LA, and I'm certainly forgetting something. I would say Chihuahua is one of the dogs of LA, for sure. Chihuahua, I've recently owned a Chihuahua. Not recently, but I had a Chihuahua for the first time in my life, like maybe 15 years ago. I've never had a small dog before. I think he means the member emojis. I don't think I can use them from the chat here. Hi chat. I have chatted before. Or typed before. Okay, bubble. Bubble. Enter text for chat. Yeah, I don't have the emojis available to me in this app that I use to stream. I love the little birds you see flitting around here. I'll have to check it out. I find a lot of the places that we visit, other people have gone to. Hey, James. Happy Thursday. Hey, BD. It is a beautiful day. Every other day, James, as you know, has been yucky and gray. I like the tall bushes. I mean, the red ones, these look like literally not even a real color. I don't want to bend over to sniff them. I don't want to look that touched. But I am. Sorry, might be buffering a little bit. Those red roses were like neon red. I've never seen a red rose like that. I think they interrupted the signal. They were almost like the color of a geranium, which is also that super crazy kind of red. I almost just tripped on a rose. I mean, on a lump. I just don't stop with the roses. We're gonna leave the roses for a few. We can walk back through. So we're mostly centered in this area for the walk. I want one of everything. I always imagine, I've never had the yellow bag of those pinwheel things. I'm not sure what they're called. But I always imagine that they're going to taste like Funyuns. I hope they taste like Funyuns. That's why I've never had them. I just don't want to be let down. California Science Center. It is not as overpowering as I thought it was going to be, but it does smell really lovely. So we can walk into the lobby for sure till they boot us out, which they might not do. An F8, I mean an FA-18A Hornet. Let's pretend it's flying over us, right? Fun. Look, it's me. Maybe not as much fun as I wanted that to be. It is very clean down here. Also, that's free for everybody. It's pretty cool, for a war machine. All right, so let's walk in the door till they kick us out. I think we're just gonna walk through. Or till we lose our signal. So where do you buy tickets? How far can I walk through? Maybe I should have... There's an information booth. So here's another giant plane. It feels like there are a lot of people here for a field trip. I will not sit on the steps. I might park it on the escalator, though. Check it out. I'm afraid of going too deep, but I'll go until they tell me to get out. So I will. I have VIP status. I actually am not even a member of my channel. I don't think I can be. All right, this is your Instagram moment. Looks like a giant kaleidoscope. I want to go into the middle of the platform. We're trying, definitely, for the press pass. I think that would be a real gate opener. So I got to cover a news story aside from Mindy Kaling getting a star. All right, I'm looking for the plaque that tells us what this means. I also wonder if I might be too dumb to figure that out on my own. I'm braver with you guys than I am without, for sure. Hey, real quick, before I forget, if it's your first time here, please show the channel some love and support and give us a like or subscribe. I'm trying to get the algorithm to show us a little more love. Anyway, enough of that. I do appreciate your support. I don't really know what this is, but people love standing in the magic pink glow of it. Alright, I didn't actually have that to walk out onto, but let's see what's out here. There's so much, I almost said crap. There's so much stuff over here. I believe it. So, this is the Coliseum. It's much larger than you imagine if you've seen the Roman Coliseum. This one's bigger. It's newer also. So this bad boy has hosted not one, but 2 Olympics. Let's see if I can zoom out. We had a Coliseum in the city that I grew up in that actually looked more like the Roman Coliseum than this does. History right there. Olympics, which are coming to LA. I cannot wait for that. If you think we have a housing issue now, BD, this is like a whole new world for me also, because I never come over here because all I can think of is where would I park? I don't even feel like I'm in Los Angeles, to be honest with you. It feels so clean and modern. You know, it's gotta be. It's totally free, and no matter where you stay in LA, you can get here on the train. No Ubers. I can't wait to continue exploring the Gold Line, the E Line. Like Yamashiro or Yamashira, I may call it the Gold Line from time to time. Just know that it's golden color, and that's why I'm calling it that. Woo! I almost just tripped again. I feel like this is like, with the exception of the expo itself, this is like, maybe all this stuff is like 20 years new. Oh my gosh, it's May. It's like the last month of school. May, June, second to last month of school. And just so you know, like to go to all of these things, like this crazy Hobbit house on the hill. I think maybe this is Steven Spielberg's Imaginarium. I'm not even using my map right now. I just ended up walking. Absolutely. So the bench that I set up on today, these are from the Olympics. Cement. So yes, there is the George Lucas Imaginarium for thoughtful thinkers. I kind of love it. It reminds me of like clumps of moss, like, in a bowl. with some solar panels around it. I don't want to get too close to it. I mean, because it's scary. I don't want to get too close to it because I don't want to lose sight of it. It is huge. It looks like a whale. I kind of wouldn't mind hanging out. Hold on, I'm gonna see if I can get you guys closer. I want to hang out right on that little dark mossy patch up there. Also, there are probably no snakes. Good thinking, Steven Spielberg. I'm just kidding, it's George Lucas. They give tours of everything here. I don't know about the Steven Spielberg ship-a-majig. It is definitely still being built. I just want it to look cooler than the Tesla Cafe on Santa Monica. It already does, actually. I wonder how that's going to go. I mean, restaurants are having a problem as it is. Can you imagine one started by somebody that nobody loves already? Crazy. So no one answered my question about the Pope smoke. If they only did that on top of the Sistine Chapel. Olympics is 2028. Yeah, I'll be visiting you in Florida in 2028. I can't imagine the shite show that is going to happen. Also, I think like next year it's going to be really tough to find an apartment if you don't look now, because I'm sure the media or people are going to start renting things for the year if the Olympics happen. I could be wrong. I have no idea. I've never been in a city where the Olympics were before. So, in addition to being afraid of heights, I don't love butterfly pavilions either. So we're definitely not going to go into that. Well, this is the Los Angeles County Museum of Natural History. Sorry, I'm not even facing the sign. I feel like when I was a kid and one of the popes, John Paul or whoever, like died, unalived. I was in Quebec and I remember my grandmother mentioning the smoke, and I really thought, in my weird memory, I remember looking up and seeing the smoke from a tour bus. My grandmother was very Catholic. We need to go in the non-humid season. So we're gonna walk around the building because there's a little like thingy over here to see. And that was the entrance for school children or school groups. South LA Cafe with a cause. Yeah, I took a tour bus. I've taken tour buses maybe twice in my life, but 3 times. Once in Rome, once in Quebec with my mother and grandmother, and then once in LA the first time I visited. Okay, they sent us, there was a sign pointing to more fun stuff to see over here. I don't, most OnlyFans people don't make very much money. It's only like the very top percent. I don't really think I would want to sell my soul for making $100 a week, a month, or a year. All right, so now we are on a side where I cannot walk in. I think I need to go back. As usual, a little bit of lost, but it gives us an opportunity to oh, OnlyFans, I get it. I'm also kidding. We can do like a bus thing where we start like a fund and then we'll just drive across the country and pick people up. All right, I should have read that sign. Entrada. All right, that must mean entrance. Well, it would be $4 signs or $5 signs. I'm not ever, I wouldn't judge anybody or shame anybody for doing that. I just, I have a guilty conscience. It probably stems from growing up mostly in the closet about, hang-ups about sex and stuff. I feel very Puritan. It is not the Gold Line, but I call it that. It is, let's look up the official name. It's the E Line, formerly the Gold Line. By the way, when you're on the train, if you ask one of the metro workers, they will give you a map, which is pretty magical. So this is the school group's entrance, which we are not. We'll walk back through the area that we just came through and go into the front door, if we can. It is the Expo Line, aka Gold Line if you're me, and now it's the E Line. So butterflies are in there, we're out here, we're not going in there. Where's our dinosaur? I have to say, I have only stuck to, I've taken the Gold Line. I almost said worked in Sacramento. I've never worked in Sacramento. I've worked in Pasadena and I used to take the Gold Line there. Back when I did that though, you had to catch it at Union Station. It's really weird, though you still can catch it at Union Station, but for some reason it tells you, never mind, it's really confusing. Anyway, I would get a map or a digital map of the train, but it's pretty thorough. You can go all the way to Santa Monica, all the way to Long Beach. I'm probably not going to take the train to Santa Monica for the taking the trains places thing because we go to Santa Monica a lot, but I might really take it to Long Beach. So we're going to come back to the original museum that we saw, this beautiful domed building. And if we can't get in this way, we'll go back to the other door and try the other way. because I don't think we can get in this way. Although, this is an impressive entrance compared to the other one. That's probably why you cannot enter on this side. So, let's go see if we get kicked out. You never know. This whole little garden right here is an edible garden that they built next to the museum. Right, it's not called the Gold Line anymore. It's called the E Line. They renamed it. I like literally never take it, so I didn't even know until it was too late. And I also got directions to go to Pasadena one day. And I got directions to go to Pasadena one day, and it still told me to change at Union Station, and I literally went to Union Station. All right. Edible garden. Rar, explore. That's their logo. The Rose Bowl. Haven't forgotten about that. It's only once a month, I believe. Maybe it's changed. But we'll plan that. It's only on Sunday and it's once a month. Ooh, there's the butterfly pavilion. You can kind of see the back door. Gold Line does sound better. I can't stop saying it. Kind of like Yamashira. It just sounds cooler. Yamashira! More explosive than Yamashira. Oh, I'm joking. That's kind of like Mr. Burns. Like, I remember one episode where he was like talking about a helicopter and he called it like a, I can't remember what. So, okay, I've got my ankles up because I'm afraid we're going to just get boosted out of here with my camera. And I'm not going to trip up the stairs trying to read the sign. I just want to make sure, it says school group, so I want to make sure that I'm not entering in a place that I cannot enter, like a side that I can't. And yeah, I can't. Hi, how are you? Hmm? No, we're just looking. Okay. All right, I gotta keep an eye on the. Whoa. We'll definitely go to the flea market for sure. So, I didn't pay anything to enter, but we just really want to see. So it's 18 bucks. Pretty cheap, actually. If that's something that kind of interests you guys, just let me know. And I'll definitely check out the Wi-Fi issue. Oh, check out this dinosaur. You have to pay to get in the other part. Every Wednesday, museums are free. Name that dinosaur. Do we need a dinosaur skeleton emoji? Is that? I wish our museums could be free. This city is, $1 billion in debt. All right, we're gonna go back out and check out the next one. I hope this is the exit. It is. I really want to go deeper in, but I'm worried about the paying and then having my Wi-Fi count out. They probably do have Wi-Fi. If that's something interests you, guys, drop it in the comments. I'll check it out, and I can just do a special trip here. All right, next museum. Doesn't smell like roses right now. All right, it smells like construction. All right, this is like the fourth time we walked by the butterfly pavilion. This person's gonna think I'm trying to get their number or something. I'm just really into butterflies. That's our Coliseum. There's a kitty right here. We're not supposed to feed her. That's where the Trojans play. The S. And you know when they're playing because people are wearing their gear all over town. So the Coliseum is on the other side of this sort of hangar. You can see it peeking through those two buildings. What's really cool, and you really can't see it through the fence, is there are all of these parts to planes. I'll try to get close enough to show you, but I guess it's another display they're working on. You see kind of like a plane bits in there. And then, that looks like a boat actually. Woo, look at this plane. This is always kind of scary. It looks like it's just gonna, you can't see it yet, but we're really kind of not too far from the airport. Doesn't really look like anything. I just never see planes up close that often. So last week, when we were looking at mansions down here, we actually were not too far from here. Like, we're kind of on the other side. After this, I think I might step out of this area and see if I can walk back. I use a wireless DJI mic. I really don't love it. I have a lavalier mic to plug into it, my biggest issue is background noise. Like I also need to find a balance where I have enough background noise to make it not sound like I'm so isolated. But if you are, I think just the lavalier microphone I did use on one stream or two streams. It's great for indoors, and I kind of like the way it looks. So we went to the California Science Center. The one on my hat is, hold on, this guy. So this is really a great microphone, but when you have to use it with the iPhone, I need a transmitter, and the transmitter you plug into the iPhone, and the transmitter is such that you could use it with a iPhone or the other kind, like a Samsung phone. So you slide a clip into place, and when you plug the microphone in, this is the problem I have a lot. When you plug the microphone in, that clip like slides back and it looks like it's plugged in and it's not. But I went for a drive and I used this same microphone with the DJI camera that I have, and the sound was so good. I haven't found anything really spectacular yet. But the phone I have on, the microphone, there we go. That's the word I'm looking for. The microphone that I have on my hat, you can use it directly on with the iPhone without that transmitter. I could just never get the volume quite right. Okay, we're gonna go see all that great stuff over there, but let's walk towards this first. I think the DJI or the Rode or that type of microphone, when I was doing research on them, like the Rode and the DJI are the ones that came up often, and I just bought the DJI because I already had a DJI, and I thought, I'll have two microphones. About a week after I got them, I lost one of the microphones. So, we need to see the African American Museum, Coliseum, Natural History Museum, and, well, Natural History we've seen, Coliseum we've seen, Science Center we've seen. But where is the African American History Museum? It points in this direction. No, it doesn't really have any. The only issue with the gimbal is I had to switch to a more expensive one because it was too heavy. But I have a giant, like, I actually only have an iPhone 14 to do this with, because what are we at, 16 now? So I usually get one every other year, and I skipped the last one. Okay. I don't know what kind of plane that is. but I wouldn't want to be in it, I can tell you that. Okay. So let's check out this plane land, and I definitely want to go to the African American History Museum and see what we can see. I love the DJI gimbal. I wish I could use it with my camera. I feel like we might have mentioned I just need it because I have a heavy phone. So I guess with all the current cuts, planes are just landing here now. So the African American History Museum is totally free. I get a little nervous about, filming people's artwork, so I'll walk in. We may get bumped out, but they do have some really great stuff going on right now. And it's really free. Is Wednesday field trip day? I usually thought Friday was field trip day, but hey. All right. May not allow me to film in here, but at least we'll get to see the lobby. And this is probably the newest museum over here, and pretty amazing. This is the newest one. Did I say Wednesday? Oh, Thursday for the field trip day. It's really lovely because I love charcoal work, right? But the shadows from the ceiling just add to the texture of it. So this artist is called Tatiana Vazlavzada. I've never heard that name before or tried to pronounce it. I totally apologize. So let's see the radical art, maybe, if we can, of Nellie Mae Rowe. I may back out when the sound goes down, but it's worth just checking it out. And this is the poster from outside, and we're going to be very quiet. love it. I love that. I think I'm really easily pleased by artwork, though. It's also lovely that we have a little story and this left behind for us to look at. Now, these are mostly from the 70s and 80s. It looks like 81. That one actually says 1981 on it. That's pretty cool. We're in the California African American Museum looking at Nellie Mae Fisher. I mean Nellie Mae Rowe, not Nellie Mae Fisher. I just said Fisher because I saw that written down there. You're welcome. Welcome, welcome. I'm trying to be quiet in the museum. I'll bet you I haven't seen a gift shop here yet. But I wonder. I will definitely check it out. Hey, enjoy the sun. It's a beautiful day. Make sure you're appropriately wearing shorts, though. I'm not sure what's going on in that picture, but this is called Brown Dog on the Road in Vinings, Georgia. So after 1969, the completion of Interstate 285 around Atlanta drastically changed Rowe's surroundings, with the traffic increasing on Paces Ferry Road. The highway building did a lot of stuff to a lot of neighborhoods. It almost, I hope, so that is her, Nellie, and that is the figure that we saw from behind in an earlier print, but I think that figure is here. It is not Robert the Doll. I love that. This is from 1978. Like I see art sometimes sometimes, and I like to think that I'm artsy, but I could never put something together like this, like these different pieces that all kind of work together. I'll see if they have a gift shop. Otherwise, we can make a t-shirt. I'm joking, I would never rip off somebody's art. Okay. I need to ask if I can take his picture. Can I take your picture, doll? I love it. All right. And just when you think
Oh, she's crazy as what you got. She ain't got nothing but love.
that's what I said. No, that's not a cursed object. I see this kind of like tree shape. I did not touch it. Show up kind of often. There's another doll. These are from 78 to 82. Crayon on cardboard. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Modigliani, except, I mean, the shape of the eyes, but they have pupils. That was the scary thing about Modigliani. That's definitely one of my favorite ones. Hey, DC, welcome, welcome. She created dolls her whole life, actually. I just read that on a plaque. This is like a takeout container. I want that so bad. I mean, I don't want it, but I love it. This was like a stained glass thing. So we've seen everything but these last two, and every one I love. These are great. Nellie Mae Rowe. So we are looking at, now this is 78. And here's, I guess, her MO. So that's the first major exhibition of her work. So, repossessions. See how far we can get in. Remember, we've got a sorry, it's hard to get my shadow out of there. So those pieces that we can't really see because of the glare on the glass, which is just fine, they use to create all of this art here. So this exhibit is called Repossessions. I don't think we can see it much better right there. So that same book, this is called Uhuru Now. It gives honor and respect to the memory of those who suffered the atrocity of enslavement with the United States. Uhuru is Swahili for freedom. The now in the title underscores the immediacy and urgency of the demand for freedoms and the swift action necessary to rectify the inequities that remain from centuries of slavery and continued oppression. Happy logging off work. She also made the dolls. She made dolls like to amuse her siblings and herself growing up. There we go. I kind of reworded that without reading it, but okay, there's one more exhibit in this totally free museum. What's this? Oh my gosh, I don't know what this is, but hey, Dianoso. I don't know if we want to sit through a movie. I definitely would sit in that room, though. A tumultuous gathering by Daryl Oluke. So that's the video that is happening in there. These are some images from that. Hey, Tom. So this is an ode to Dina, short for Altadena, which, you know, it's truly a special place, Altadena. It's the working man's Pasadena. And it just almost completely burnt down in the fires. We mostly heard about Malibu. Okay, the deeper we go, sometimes I start to lose. Oh, we're going up again. I start to lose my signal. I'm at 1111, 1461. It's especially terrible because it was generational wealth. One of the only places that black people could have, a house. So much redlining in Los Angeles. I'm starving. I'm just watching my meter though. I don't know if I'm going to eat anything while I'm out here. It depends on like which direction I leave. I feel like I can walk back to 7th Street Metro Station like I did last week, but I'm probably going to be wrong. I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. The house that I grew up in actually was built before bathrooms. It had an outhouse in the backyard. I mean, we didn't have the outhouse anymore. But we also had a summer house with an outhouse. We built a bathroom in it. And I was always afraid of that moon for some reason. I love this. Wood, plastic, metal, and flugelhorn. This guy is called Sam Pace. You actually can listen to the music, which is pretty lovely. It's a sound bowl. We're not gonna make it sound though. Mildred Peggy Davis. I tried to make a quilt once. I love this. So much to see, and I didn't pay a dime. I don't know if Brian Morton went into this on his video. Martine Sims. She's from Altadena. I might make burgers tonight. The Mallorca cabbage bowl. Every time I've gone to Chicago, I've been working and I have very limited time to do any museums. I really regret not having gone to any. I'm not really sure. This is from 1961, but this is. I love sculpture. This is just beautiful stuff. So Chooks was born in 1961. We're at the Expo USC. This is the California African American History Museum, which is completely free. I just don't want to. I find this work really moving. Cecilia, you can borrow my code and stream it as me. Mark Stephen Greenfield, born 1951. These are from 2011. Collared cotton, ink on Duraleer, inkjet print, and ink on Duraleer. So, stowaways, budget doll, collared cotton. I love the pattern. So, Liz Crimson, 1958. Mushroom understory, shackled or stacked mushrooms, and fire creates art. Why not? I love that. It's a pretty great piece. All right, I think we've covered everything that is not live. Nope. Lamont Westmoreland, born 1941. Okay, cannot. This is called Decadence. It's the wood casket stands, chewed gum, insect eaten, isomalt sugar, and shellac. I can't take an interesting enough image of this. It's really kind of wonderful in a morbid way. Kentora Davis, Altadena, of course. It's the Manaki paper kind of gives it almost a texture to it. And then there's a really subtle writing in it. So I love textiles. Have we seen it all? If I were not making a video of this, I would walk a lot slower. I just don't want anybody to get bored. So we've seen all of the exhibits except for a wall and a zoo. So, and then I see a map of the Exposition Park. So this is the last one. Let's see. Contains audio and audio center, suitable for all visitors. So they might say naughty things. So let's check this guy out and not keep the door open. I'm going to where there are no people, and we'll kind of work our way that way. This way I'm not. So these are all by the same artist. A wall we saw. Um, mm, the oil. That's all right because I can't chatter. I'm glad you guys are chattering. I don't know if that's part of it. I mean, nothing is marked in here, unfortunately, so I can't tell you the names of anything. I kind of love this. It's a lot of burns, actually. that was everything. Unless you want to go to the restrooms or the library. Maybe I'm going to go back out the front door. So there you have it, a full beautiful opportunity to view this awesome museum, which is totally free. It's kind of stinky outside though. I mean, like construction smell. Oh my gosh, Cecilia, thank you so much. Thank you guys. Thanks to my members. Thanks to subscribers, likers, and super thankers. Thank you so much. Let me, I wasn't paying attention to anything in there, so thank you. Clapping hands. Of course, hearts. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I did reach out to Trisha. She's doing good. Got a little busy. So we're gonna walk this way because the coolest thing about the Coliseum is the front of it, where it says Los Angeles Coliseum. Oh, I see another plane. They used to have the, I feel like they used to have the donut money. Definitely donut money, a dozen donut money. Although, like if I keep doing those donuts and fried chicken days, I'm gonna need Ozempic money. I'm not really serious. I think I definitely walk enough to get rid of it. Maybe. This is science right here. This is the Chloe Bays Sky, no filter, hindsight for future America glass. And I don't really know what this is. Where's that space shuttle? I know I'm gonna have to do jogging in LA. Oh, lo and behold, some corn cob. Our spy in the sky. So, it's not a spaceship. That's an A-12 Blackbird. It's made out of titanium. We should come back here and get that medal. So we already went into the Science Center. I just want to show you. Oh, that's the BMO. I can't think of a less enticing sounding name for a stadium, BMO. Bowel movement obstruction. The grounds for this area, sorry, I've been out of the conversation because I've just been kind of looking around. So if you're talking about this area isn't very big. I could still like see the train station that I got off at almost. So hey, everybody that's just come on. I want to just take a second to thank our members. We do have some memberships available. You guys want fun videos and emojis and stuff like that, a chance to steer the stream, feel free to join. We would love to have you. So thanks, members, for making a lot of this possible. I really do appreciate your support. How long did it take to get here from where I live? So I walked to the train station. That takes about 20 minutes. And then I had to take the red line train, to the yellow gold train. And honestly, I got on the train in the wrong direction for a couple stops, so I had to backtrack. I'm glad to be able to do that and to be able to live stream and to get to know all of you guys. So there's no way in hell I'll be able to get any closer to it than here. I think it took me probably 45 minutes to get here, but potentially less. So when I got to the train station, the train was coming in 9 minutes. I got on the train, and then it's maybe 4 stops to where I need to go, so like 10 minutes, and then maybe 10 more stops here. It should only take like half an hour at most, you would think. So let's get through the bars and peek at that. And the headless Olympiads, they have no clothes on because this is Los Angeles. I think they're filming something, and that is probably nothing that interesting. So, 2 Olympics. There's no free parking, at least that I saw. All right, so just to orient you, there's downtown LA over there. I know you can't see it, but I'm gonna, hold on, maybe you can see it. Oh, well, I just zoomed out even more. Anyway, it's way over there, and now we're further from the picture. Well, Olympic Stadium, go USA. All right, see if you can make out that downtown. Right over there. I'm definitely not walking back downtown today. I feel like there's the Coliseum and then there's that white thing. What's the white thing? I saw Prince at the white thing, and I think I might have called it a Coliseum previously. Whenever there's an event, you're always, the best bet for you is to find a public transportation to get there, because the traffic is terrible here, really, really terrible here. It definitely took me less time to, let's go below the parking garage and the planes. It definitely took me less time to get here on a train, maybe minus the getting lost for a second, than it would have to drive here. And this is probably 7 miles from my house, 10 miles tops. But they do have plenty of parking, as you can see. I don't love the huge crowd either. I just don't like being bumped into or getting my foot stepped on, or I've always hated 4th of July, not because I hate America, but because, I mean, it's close, but I don't even think of this as Los Angeles because it's on the, it's like below Wilshire, which I do think of it, that sounds horrible, but it's like just an area that I don't go to. It's like collegey over here, more so than like, well, it's actually museumy over here. Maybe this is my new area. Okay, think if somebody said, name 4 places in Los Angeles that I should visit. After today, I would definitely say this, but before this, I probably never would have said that. So my hope is that we are taking this little natural California habitat, all natural California plants. We're going to end up under the spy plane. I love the Clash. I love the Clash. I love like how the Clash became or came to be, like how they matured into making that kind of sound. I love the history of the radio in England in the 80s and pirate radio stations. I love the Clash. Oh, sorry. And even like Big Audio Dynamite was pretty great too. I just swore. I don't know if you caught it. The scariest moment that I ever had in a crowd was I was really drunk back in the olden days. And it was New Year's Eve and I was in Paris, right? Story just gets fancier and better and better. I was collecting my Birkin bag. I am joking again. But I was in Paris. We were kind of drunk at Burger King like 15 minutes before midnight. And then we were trying to find, yes, Burger King, some place to go for like the ball drop or whatever you want to call it, because it's not a ball drop, it's the ball drop. But and anyway, we ended up in this crazy alley where there was a riot going on, and there was literally like, in my head when I remember, it's the gendarmerie, but there were like literally like hundreds, and I'm exaggerating, of cops with their shields and batons, and they're just whacking their batons, marching down the alley, coming towards the rioters. This is probably like 20 years ago, 20 something years ago. And yeah, I haven't left the country since I've moved to California. Unless you count Texas, which I do not. So let me know, what was your favorite display or pieces that we saw? I definitely think Nelly was my tops. So they are building that for the space shuttle, by the way. I can't remember who mentioned that early on, but whoa, that's crazy, Kasepi. I kind of missed the first part of that. You know what's really weird? Hey, LA, unknown. You know, it's really weird. Like if I remember like being in my 20s, and if I it would happen way more in New England, but like people would slide off the road, black ice in the wintertime, right? And you'd just like be in a snowbank. And I like would pull over to see if people needed help all the time. I would never do that now. I'm glad you are a hero. I think I'm going to take this plane home. Was it on a freeway or a highway or the Autobahn or like where did that happen? Giuseppe. Ooh, I could go eat at Chick-fil-A. It's right there. Nothing like a chicken patty that you don't even have to chew. I'm on State and maybe this is Figueroa. No. Okay, I'm at 37th Street. So that means if I walked, there's Hart House, the Kevin Hart's vegan restaurant that kind of petered out. It was pretty tasty. I went there a couple times. Got to support a short king. So if those are my lunch choices, I can wait till I get home. So straight down that street, downtown. Last week, we walked back there almost from here. I think we were a little closer. And a little further over, actually. So we spent almost 2 hours here. We went through one entire museum. The Natural History Museum, I am going to walk down this street a little bit. How great does that look? Most people wouldn't do what needs to be done, so I'm glad you were there. So we could have easily, so I want to go back to what the museums cost. I actually think the Natural History Museum is free. You just need to get tickets online in advance. And I think that's what she meant. But no, they were $18. The Broad is free, but you have to get tickets online in advance. Yeah, we were on Figueroa Street. Woo! I was right, with no sign, too. That was a solid guess. I think those areas were always here, to be honest, Cecilia. I think I feel like I've just discovered so much more, or like really dived into so much more since starting this channel. And in fact, I have. So Figueroa runs down to downtown. You can now see downtown at the end of the street. Last week we were on 36th or 37th, and I walked the 30 blocks to 7th. It's probably an hour walk. I don't know that I'm going to do that today, but I am going to walk a little further and check out this church here. Well, it's really great that downtown sticks up so high that we always kind of have that as a point of reference. I think what happens is the sketchy just moves somewhere else. And then that neighborhood that you never wanted to go into, I think there's somebody on here that's always talking about how bad Silver Lake used to be. Um, but it just kind of moves around. So I don't know what church this is. Or if it's even a church. Actually, it's just part of USC, so it might not be a church. The skies were no joke here. Sometimes it feels, and I did not live here when the skies were a joke or just so full of smog, but I've heard about it plenty o times. And I don't know what this really weird house is here, but anybody know what the house is? I felt like because it's been so gray in the mornings, it must be like when the skies used to be just white all day and you couldn't play outside. This is a big USC town. I don't understand how the USC Berkeley isn't UNC, like, because Berkeley is kind of in the north. I'm kidding. I would rather go to UCLA, I think. Actually, no. For location, USC. UCLA is like Brentwood area. Hey, Focus. I almost said, hey, greetings. Hey, Focus. I think I would rather go to USC because I like where this is. UCLA is over by Brentwood. UCLA feels more like you definitely need to drive there. Like in that area. It's more, I wouldn't say country, but it's more removed. It's like off Sunset Boulevard, but past Beverly Hills. I don't really know what we're waiting for. Right up there with the Hollywood sign, and maybe the Capitol Records building, is this Felix sign. This is pretty LA. Much cooler than the Silver Lake Foot sign. They have, I don't even know if this is still a Ford, is that Ford dealership anymore, but they have threatened to take this sign down so many times. But it's kind of iconic. Yeah, it's not even a car dealership anymore. He's only getting 98. Was not very happy about getting 98. So this is the Figueroa corridor. Felix the cat is one of the characters that really early on lost its licensing. Felix the cat and Betty Boop. Nobody relicensed those characters, so you're free to use them for whatever you want. So it's the original sign. It still is. Oh, it's Chevy, Ford. I almost just tripped on a chunk of cement. So this Chevy dealership, I think, dates back to the 60s. I loved Felix the cat for some reason when I was a kid. I also loved Betty Boop too. That's the Galen Center. I have no idea what that is, but that's not the Galen Center. So this is University of Southern California. I'm gonna walk back to the train, I think. No, you have to see the Felix sign. No space shuttle, but cool planes. I'll change my thumbnail so it's not deceiving. We'll put whatever one of those planes is. Betty Boop on Broadway, is it a musical? Does she just sing, I Want to Be Loved by You? Boop boopy doop. Boop boopy doop. Yeah, affordable is the thing. Focus. We always talk about moving somewhere else in the city, but I always feel like you should move up somewhere better, but everything is like a lateral move or worse for the price I would like to pay. Rent is tough, but you know, eventually I'll find something when the time is right. I just feel like I've missed out on a lot of stuff. I don't really know what that means, but I always see a house for rent, and then it's like, there's a huge house for rent in our neighborhood a couple of years ago. Totally rent controlled also. It had to have been like, I think it was 2,600. This is 10 years ago. I don't pay that much for rent right now. Or maybe it was 1,900, but they can only raise it 3%. So I feel stupid that I didn't like tighten my buckle and try to rent that house a couple of years ago. I love how people keep stopping, but I don't have a walk sign. Now I do. That was really sweet. Again, the gimbal. Everyone stops when they're gonna get canceled. I'm not canceling anybody. The weather is really perfect out here. The other thing that I really love living here is just the vitamin D that you just soak in. It makes the most dismal things or most insurmountable issues not as dire. I can't really explain it. I'm never depressed out here. I was never really depressed when I lived on the East Coast either, but I'm less depressed, if that makes any sense. Basketball. I know nothing about basketball except for the Lakers. Ooh, this church again, which is not a church anymore. Oh, I'm gonna plug in real quick because I'm at 15%, and we know that never works out. So when I went to the historic mansions with you all in Highland Park, the Victorian places, I thought I'd warned you before we got on the subway that it was just gonna cut out. So it looked like I just ended the stream, but that wasn't the case. It just started doing its stupid stream stuff. So you can get desert, you can get mountain, snow, you can get ocean. Hopefully you can find the spot that doesn't have sewage runoff. You get a lot of climates in one state, and all, air quotes, within driving distance, theoretically. Okay, plug one, plug two. Joseph has really not gone to Las Vegas. And so I mean, maybe I'm wrong about that and he went to Las Vegas, but I kind of want to go to Las Vegas. I'm not a gambler, but I can understand how it's addictive. I think I would be more for like I would want to be able to see a show. I don't know what show it is. I don't want to see Adele, no offense, or anything like that. I would want to ride something, not dangle off of anything, side of a building kind of stuff. But and maybe like do some slot machines. I really only love the slot machine and roulette. And I've won some money at roulette, but I eventually just lose. What to do with the dogs? I don't want to leave them I don't want to board them. Right. I think Joseph wasn't with me and he asked me why I just cut off the stream last week. I think I only told, you were the only one listening to me, Simply Sonora. I remember mentioning to him, I was like, no, they knew it. I stayed at the Stardust. That was the first time I went to Las Vegas, and it was like $12 a night. It's been torn down since, of course. I've stayed at maybe Excalibur. I've stayed at the one that looks like the Disney Concert Hall, or next to the Disney Concert Hall. And also I would love a buffet, just one for the whole time. That's a good idea. And I doubt it was $12, but it was so cheap. Las Vegas was so cheap in the early 2000s to like 2010, until it started Paris Hiltoning out and getting cool again. I mean, you get a room for like under $50. A room that came with, cigarette smell and torn up lampshades, but still, you don't go to Las Vegas to hang out in the room. Or at least I wasn't. Well, nobody has any money anymore. Vegas tourism is really down. Los Angeles tourism is really down. California in general, because who wants to come to America? I might see RuPaul's Vegas show if it was under $50. I don't want to pay $500 to see something. If I have to pay $500 to see a show, I would rather use that to pay my rent, my credit card bill. I mean, I have collected the concert tickets from concerts I have seen in my lifetime, and I remember when an expensive ticket was $50. None of this $3,000 stuff. I remember when someone said cruel summer, you would think Bananarama. That's my cruel summer. So here's my train station. Expo Park, Usk. That's where we're going. I don't know how people could live in Vegas either, only because it's so hot there, just like Arizona. It's just so hot. It's like blindingly I can't do anything hot. It's like living in Siberia. So it would be lovely to walk through here. You can no longer walk through here after all of the protests. We might be related, Charwi. I've been called that before. It's all right. You know, there's actually somebody in the chat with my surname. I asked them in an email or maybe something if we were related or not. So this is also like a really clean, nice train line. And if you want to be a jerk, you can probably hop on it for free. I want to take a sec to say, again, there are memberships available. Please, join. Cecilia, thank you so much for the super thanks. Really appreciate that today. And just appreciate you being here, all of you being here. So thank you so much. I want to take 1 second while I'm waiting for my train to thank all of the members. So huge thanks again for your support. I am about to check off, whatever that means, sign off, but we're going to be on tomorrow. I already put the thing up. We're going to be walking through Hollywood, talking about the punk scene at the early 80s, late 70s. Really interesting. You've got bands like X, even the Go-Go's that come, the Germs that come from that time. And it's a really similar story to a story that we tell. We had a part of the city that was just run down and the artists came in and took it over and punk. Anyway, it's going to be a good one. I have been working on it all week, so it should be quite entertaining. I am just so many members. I have to wait for that to end before I could say good night. So good night or good evening. Cecilia, eat something. BD, I don't know if you've eaten yet, but you should too. You guys all have a really awesome night. Thank you for hanging out with me and walking in LA. I'm about to get on the metro. I probably won't put any shorts up today, but you never know. All right. Have an awesome night. Cheers.